Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to A Queen's Roundtable Show on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I am your host, Jacqueline Kabah Harrison, and I am coming to you today for another awesome episode with another awesome female entrepreneur that's going to share with you different tools and techniques that you definitely want to hear. If you are an entrepreneur, which I know you are, and you want to make sure that you are protected on the internet, this is where you need to be. So go ahead. I'll give you 2 seconds to go ahead and grab a pad and a pen and get ready. So I'm going to let my special guest introduce herself.
Hey everyone, my name is Fareedah Shaheed, and I teach small business owners and mothers on how to protect against predators and hackers for your business and life. And I'm really, really excited to be here for episode 45. Hey!
I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
I can't wait to dive in. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did your business come about? How long have you been in business? And some basics like where did you grow up? You have brothers and sisters. Are you married? You have children. Where are you in the country?
Right. I live in the East Coast. I grew up here in the East Coast, went to Saudi Arabia at 8 years old. So I lived in Saudi for about, I think it was like 8 years. So all of my formative years were there. I came back for college. I studied cybersecurity. I did not have any brothers and sisters, thankfully. I always say thankfully. I always wanted brothers and sisters. Like I was that only child that wanted an older brother because I thought it would be cool, beat up some kids if they mess with me or something. But I didn't have an older brother. I was, of course, the only one, so I was the eldest. But after having an experience for I think 3 months, we took in a family really quickly just to kind of help them get on their feet because their house wasn't finished. I had an experience of having siblings. And from then on, I was like, dear Lord, reverse all my prayers that I made for siblings. So, and he answered. So here we are. But yeah, I don't grow up with siblings. I grew up in Saudi. That is actually where my passion for my business started. I was one of the only, if not the only, African-American, Black African-American, of course, Black African-American, but Black American in the school there. And so I had a lot of different experiences of being an outcast and then finding my way through and then building my own tribe within the school. And so I used that as the passion of why I started my business. And really what happened was I was kind of singled out because of my skin color. People wouldn't sit next to me. They would throw things at me. They would be like, hey, I don't want to touch you because you're Black. They don't want to share things with me. And so that experience kind of taught me the basis of how to protect your space physically and who to let in your space, and then how to make sure that the spaces that you're in are what I call understanding spaces, meaning people do not feel judged based off of who they are, that you can come in fully who you are. Not everyone has to agree with you, but at least you have to treat that person with respect and dignity and as a human being. And so when I built my online space, I built it with the same understanding of, I know that people don't know security. I know that not everyone's the same. Everyone comes a different walk of life, but we're here to create some security and safety for not only ourselves and our business, but for our kids and family and our legacy. And so everything I do comes with community, compassion, kindness, empathy. So that's why I started the movement. But the heart of the movement is my experiences there. And through those experiences, I decided to make a space in the online world for people who need to know a little bit more about security.
Okay. Nice. You know what? And I think I just read one of your recent posts. And I think you mentioned, well, actually, it's a couple things I wanted to bring up.
Go ahead.
I think you mentioned that you were a gamer.
I am a gamer. I've been gaming for 10 years.
Wow. So, okay. So I'm a little bit, I probably got you by some years. So I think I know what that means, but just give me like a brief explanation of exactly what that means.
Definitely. So a gamer basically in essential terms is someone who games, someone who uses games as a form of entertainment. So a lot of people binge watch Netflix, which I don't binge watch Netflix, but I do watch Netflix. you know how you watch Netflix or you watch, Family Feud or Jeopardy or whatever it is, those type of things. So instead of that being like an in-person game, it's a game that is online. And a lot of these games are strategy games. Sometimes they're third-person games, multiple battlefield arena type games. They're basically anything that you do as an activity online that is in a gaming form. So basically there's a strategy. You have to win something. It could be some people look at Uno cards and Family with Friends, or the Words with Family. What is that? Words with Friends or something like that. Some app on Facebook that people used to do all the time years ago as gaming. I don't, because I'm a little bit of an elitist. However, that is considered gaming. So any type of fun like that online is gaming. I have my particular things that I do. Yep.
Okay. All right. So you said you've been doing that for 10 years.
Yep, I've been doing that for 10 years now. I've been doing it since I was a teenager, and so I'm doing it now. I'm in my early 20s right now, and I've been gaming just ever since. And the reason why I love it so much is because it teaches you a lot about life, and it also teaches you a lot about technology. So when I started my whole dream job in cybersecurity and I got into the field, what I learned from the game, actually I implemented it inside of my job, and then I still implement in my business, and I implement in my life on a daily basis. So yeah, definitely. So I always tell parents that when you're talking about gaming, it's important to have some safety and security parameters, but you have to understand the good side of gaming. You want to make sure that they're getting some educational aspects. And I really believe the reason why I was able to pull lessons out of gaming, actually my first my first big keynote speech in the security world was about lessons from League of Legends, which is a game that's online. And I took the lessons from League of Legends and used that as a way to solve some of our biggest security problems that we have in the cybersecurity industry. And the reason why I'm able to do those type of things is because of the way that I was taught growing up, right? We're talking about my background now. Is every time I did an activity, my mother would sit down and say, okay, what did you learn from that? How can you apply what you learned here? No matter what it was. I could be swimming, I could be eating a sandwich, I could be going out with a friend, I could go to an amusement park, I could be watching a Disney movie, which I never did because we didn't really have TV. But if I ever did, she'd be like, what did you learn from Cinderella's story? Let's talk about life. Let's talk about how this applies to you. And so when I started in my gaming world, I took that ideology, that mentality of, okay, I'm gaming, but how does this apply to my career? How does this apply to my life? What can I learn from this to make me a better person?
Okay. And I have a 9-year-old. He's soon to be 10 in a few months. And I guess he's a gamer. Well on his way. So I'm just, just hearing you say that is a very interesting take. And that it really piques my interest in terms of how you said you really learned a lot, or what you learned from playing online, you're able to apply that in life. So I'm that like really piques my interest, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other parents out there probably thinking the same thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm like, wow. Okay. So you know what, before we go on, just give us one example of something that you learned, online or while playing that particular game that you mentioned, that you were able to apply to life.
Definitely. I would say mindset and how you communicate with others are the two biggest things. The games that I play, it really depends on what you're playing, really. But you still can learn anything from anything. Honestly, I'm a big proponent of you always will learn something if you really want to. However, the games that I particularly play are strategy games. They're kind of like chess, but they're chess with characters. So they're not like you're not moving. Instead of the king being like a little figure, there is a character that is a king, and you're making decisions. So instead of it just being that board, which is a stagnant, just little thing, you're actually playing a character. And so in that character, you have to make decisions in order to win that particular game. And so the games that I play normally last 30 to 45 to 1 hour. And so you have to make really micro decisions within that. And the reason why I love strategy games is it takes a lot of teamwork. And there are always 5 people on every team. So there's the red team, and then there's a blue team. With the team, you always have to communicate with each other. You have to understand, what is the other person going to do? Where are they going to go? What decisions are they going to make in order for us to win this particular game? And with that, I have learned a lot about emotional intelligence and when you're toxic and when you're not toxic. When you're playing with other people, sometimes you have the tendency to go, just think of like as a business, right? You have a team, you got a virtual assistant, you got an accountant. Your strategy is to make sure you're reaching more people, you're bringing value to them, and you're bringing in more money so that you can, protect your family, not protect your family, so that you can live on your legacy and, live your life, those types of things. If someone has a miscommunication or an error or a misstep, how you handle that situation affects everyone on the team. It affects your business, affects your money, affects your mood. It's a domino effect. So the same thing happens within a game, where how you communicate with your fellow teammates for a strategy impacts if you win that game. So a lot of people in, online world, they tend to what we call get flamed, basically being toxic, being a really, terrible teammate. And so what I learned from that is learning how to work inside of a group, keeping everyone together, making sure no one feels left out, even if they make a mistake. So I'm giving an analogy in business. Someone sends, the client a wrong email, or the invoice is for a wrong number. Instead of, berating them or talking down to them, you go, okay, we're, that's obviously a mistake. That's totally okay. These things happen. Let's figure out a way to fix it. Let's not spend so much time, getting on you for doing that. So that's number one, is really communicating, having a teammate, team-like game or feel to it. And the second thing is mindset, about how you think about it. A lot of people, when they're in teams, this goes for games, it goes for business, goes for family, you feel like you have to control everybody. You feel like everyone has to fall in line so that we can get the strategy done and we can win this game. Whether winning the game means getting the client, whether winning the game means getting through the day and sleeping at night with everyone, healthy and safe, whatever game means, you want everyone to fall in line. But it's really important, whether life, business, family, game, that you only person that you can control is yourself. And so having that understanding that I'm the only person I can control, and all I can do is help the other person, all I can do is communicate to the other person what I need in order for us to be successful, that's all you can do. So when you get really upset or agitated because someone's not doing what you want them to do, it's better to focus on yourself and what can I do to make this situation better? Because you're never going to be able to control your kid, not your spouse, not your teammate, not your virtual assistant. And so those are the two biggest things that I've learned in terms of gaming.
Wow. That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. There's so much more, but that's like a real sneak peek.
Wow. Okay. I'm kind of like, digesting all of that.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know what? And I'm sorry. I'm kind of jumping back a little bit. You said you're on the East Coast now, right?
I'm in the East Coast. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Wow. I'm so excited. Okay. So pronounce the name of your company. How do you say it?
It's Sekuva, which means a well of security knowledge.
Okay. And
Yep.
that's in what language?
I can't remember exact language, but I can just say that I made it up.
Okay.
It's definitely made up. It's definitely made up, but made up in a strategic way, because Kuva is like a well, and so SE is from security, and so it's basically a well of security knowledge where you keep coming back to get water. You keep coming back to make sure you're protecting your family, protecting your business, protecting yourself. That's essentially the meaning behind it.
Okay. Nice. All right. So let me ask you this, and I always ask this of all of my guests, and I think you kind of touched on it. You may want to elaborate a little bit more, or maybe something else you didn't bring up. But I always ask, what would you say was your biggest obstacle, I guess, in your business or in your personal life? What would you say your biggest obstacle was, and how did you address it?
I believe my biggest obstacle was really telling my story and being myself. And I think that has to do with both. I've always been a person that was very kind of like lighthearted, optimistic. I love having fun. And so some people see different sides of me. Sometimes they see the serious side, which most likely most people see the serious side. But they don't realize that I have a very fun-loving, very outgoing, very kind of fun personality. And especially in business and especially in security and technology, a lot of people show up online honestly as boring, right? They're just kind of like about the tech stuff. They're not about themselves. They're not about reflecting. It's not about their story. And I have a tendency to do that because, you know, that's something that we're kind of bred to do, especially if you've been in corporate. And I worked in corporate. I worked in a financial firm, and it's very, very conservative, very like, all right, we don't got emotions. We leave stuff at home, that type of stuff. And so showing up online as me was honestly the biggest thing and the biggest barrier for me to reach the opportunities that I needed to. And it honestly just recently changed with the last 6 months. So this is something that I recently did that completely changed my business. Because before I was showing up as pure security. And all I would talk about is cybersecurity, threat actors, cyber criminals, cyber attacks. Like that's just like, whoa, what's going on in another universe, right? But now the way I show up is, protecting your kids from predators, how to keep your money safe, my story from Saudi Arabia, my gaming things. And I still slip up. I still got moments. I know when I look at my social media, I'm like, I probably should explain that, right? Even right now, I'm thinking, I should probably explain gaming better or a little bit more, give context to the gaming, right? And so we're always growing and learning. My biggest thing was telling my story, showing up as myself, and just like my full spectrum of me and letting people see who Fareedah really is behind the security stuff.
And you know what? I don't know exactly how long I've known you online, but I have noticed a difference in your messaging, and that I'm starting to kind of feel like I know you a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And I know as a branding, what do they call them? A brand strategist or, business strategist, they'll tell you that people want to know, who you are behind the logo, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I can honestly say that, a lot of your content that I've read, I'm like, wow, it just tells, you know what I mean? It kind of gives you like a way in, like a sneak preview, if you will, of who this person is, So you're doing a really good job.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
So let me say this, Miss Omega, how are you, Auntie? Actually joined us for a moment. I'm not sure if she's still on, but hello, how are you? Thank you for joining. And also, ladies, share the broadcast out, okay? Because we are all this topic is important to all of us, right? So share the broadcast out. Definitely leave any questions or comments that you have for me or for us, and I'll definitely keep checking to make sure that we answer them. Okay. So, and I wanted to say, let me see. So we were talking about the messaging. I had asked you about overcoming, or what was your biggest obstacle. I'm just doing a recap so I can remember where I was. Sometimes I have a senior moment.
Do the same thing.
So you were basically saying that one of the obstacles is like posting, I guess, a little bit more, personal things in terms of like, who is this person? Who is Fareedah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Fareedah, you know what? I have to say, I had you really, how do I say this? I'm just gonna say it. I had no idea you were so young.
I get that so much.
I mean, I knew you weren't like over 30 or over 35, but you have, I mean, just your whole overall presence is just so, I don't know, it's just so amazing that, I mean, it's just the fact that you have learned so much. I can tell, like you are wise beyond years. You know what I mean? And it's just like a lot of people, in their 20s are still kind of, I don't know which way is up, and those younger ladies that may be listening, please don't get offended. But still trying to find themselves. And I'm not saying that, you're not evolving and that, you're there. But I can really, I just sense a very mature, wise person when I speak to you.
Thank you.
And just even hearing about how I'm not really a computer person at all, and I think that individuals that are younger, the younger generations, like my son, like I said, he's 9, and just to see him operate something, and he even gets frustrated with me. He's like, "Oh, just give it here," and it's like boom, 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 and I'm like, "Wait a minute, what'd you do? Hold on, you did that way too fast," So for people, that are like my age, maybe a little bit older, maybe, a few years under me, the whole cyber arena, like when you said gaming, it's like I've heard of gaming, but I really only know like what I saw in Law and Order. You know what I mean?
That's for you.
Yes, I was like, okay, so I think I know what it means, but let me just ask, because I'm pretty sure there's probably other people out there that may not really know themselves and may think that they know, but really don't know. But you really provided a excellent explanation for it, and I just love how you, I mean, just that whole correlation between what you learned in the game and how you actually apply that in life. I mean, I'm just like blown away by that. Okay.
I
So,
appreciate your comments. I really do. I really appreciate you. It means so much to me. It really does.
oh, okay, good. Excellent. I'm glad. Now, I saw this post and I said I wanted to bring this up. So, um, cybersecurity personality of the year. I know it, and I don't know. Well, put it like this. The question is, you have just recently been given some, I don't know if it's one award or 2 awards, but I'd like for you to kind of share that with us.
Yeah, so I recently was awarded Cybersecurity Personality of the Year 2020, and it's a huge, huge, huge honor. It's been like up against some big names in the field who are absolutely amazing, amazing individuals. And to find out that I won the award was just like mind blowing. It's absolutely amazing, and it really came from my support. There was no voting process in the public. It was more of like some esteemed panel of judges who were like very, very good in their fields in terms of cybersecurity, and they were judging it. But I had some people who were on my Facebook page who, without me saying it, I didn't even know you could do, I didn't even know that someone would do it, but they all emailed the judges to make sure. They're like, oh, this is why we want Fareedah to win. And so I don't know what went in their process. I'm not behind the scenes. I only knew one of the judges, and she had to disclose a conflict of interest, so she couldn't be a part of my judging because she was someone who, I'm a client of hers, so it was like biased. But that whole process of having people actually reach out just honestly brought me to tears, because I never really thought that people saw what I was doing, cared enough about it to actually take time out of their day. Not only did they do that, but they found the award thing. I didn't put any email. I did not put in a website. So they Googled the award, found the website, found the email, sent emails to them to make sure that I win, which I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if that was a part of it. Not sure. But whatever it is, whether that was, one of the deciding factors or not, I'm so appreciative of people showing up like that. So I'm like so excited.
Yeah, you should be, because
Thank
that's
you.
awesome. That is
Thank
so
you.
awesome. Just to, like you said, to know that people, really, really look to you as, as an example and as an authority in your area, and that's really what it's all about, because we all bring something different to the table, and sometimes it just surprises us, when we really realize that, wow, people are paying attention, people are noticing, and people really, get a lot out of what I do, you know and it doesn't matter, what your area is. I mean, that it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
It really is a basic feeling.
So I'm just glancing down here because I wanted to ask you before we get into your topic, okay? And I'm just glancing here at the time, ladies. I know we started a little bit behind schedule. Let me take a comment here. So Miss Omega said we should have more cybersecurity in place for social media, or should we trust Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok? So I'll let you answer that, and then I'm just going to kind of glance down just to see
Perfect.
where we are. But go ahead and take
Perfect.
it away.
Awesome. So I definitely think when terms of Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is, they give you some security controls that you can put on your account, and you definitely need to take advantage of that. And one of the big ones that you want to take advantage of is something called two-factor authentication. And what that basically is where there's two ways to log into an account. So instead of you putting a username and password and then you get in, you put a username and password and then they send a code to your phone, or you use an app and a code is generated inside of the app and you copy that code and put it in there. So basically what it does, it makes it harder for a hacker to get into your account, because now there are two ways to get into your account. Two steps, not two ways, two steps to get into that. So when almost all accounts online, it's usually very basic to get to that setting. Usually can go to you go to settings, and then you go to security and privacy, and under security and privacy, you'll always see it. Every website, of course, is different, but it's always 99.999% of the time in your settings and in security and privacy. If you don't see it under security and privacy, either it's somewhere else, which is rare, or the company does not offer it, which is not good, but hopefully, they do. And if you care enough, you can just email them and say, hey, by the way, this account's important. I need you to put a system that has two-factor authentication. That's one thing you can do. There are things outside of what Facebook, Instagram, any social media offers that you need to do, not things. There are many things. There are 99 problems, and all of them are that outside of that. So you do want to make sure that you're protecting yourself in that realm as well.
With the Instagram, because I know Facebook, I got a message from Facebook stating that, they recommend I do the two-step authentication. So I did that. But now with Instagram, because I know somebody recently, I don't know how recent, but I know someone hacked my Instagram account. So now is that something separate, or because it's connected with Facebook, does that mean I've already done it since I've done it on the Facebook end, or is it something I have to do separate through Instagram?
You do it separate. So you do one for Instagram and then one for Facebook. And yeah, for one for each one. And I would also say that for people, when you're signing up to accounts and when they say, hey, you can use your Google account or you can use your Facebook account to log in, I'm pretty sure people have seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't log in doing that way. The reason being is because, say if someone were to hack your Facebook, right? And you have signed into, say, 5 or 10 apps with your Facebook account. That means the hacker now controls all of those accounts, as opposed to them only controlling your Facebook. So now they're not only controlling Facebook, they're controlling Facebook, app number 1, app number 2, app number 3, so on and so forth.
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned that, because you're right. It automatically pops up, do you want to sign in through Facebook? Do you want to sign in through Google? Okay, so I have to remember that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Omega asks, should we be leery of TikTok?
Yes, you should be leery of TikTok. They don't have effective security and privacy controls. Unfortunately, it's brought so much joy in our lives. And it's so sad. It's like, I have really thoroughly, by the way, no, I am not going to shame myself for it. I don't feel guilty for it. Thoroughly enjoyed TikTok videos on Facebook. I didn't get an account because I was a little bit about that security and privacy aspect. But I have thoroughly enjoyed the reposts on Instagram and Facebook. However, it is not really secure. It's not really safe. They said that they were going to make it more secure and safe, and they didn't. So they lied about that. There are just a lot of things that aren't really great about it. However, I always tell people it is you and your family's decision. There are ways that you can make it a little bit better than it is, but at the end of the day, it may not be worth it. My opinion is not worth it as a security professional. However, if that's, for you and your family, you want to do that, you have to make a decision. But just understand that it is not secure and it's not safe. And this is what I tell people all the time. It's like, yeah, it's not secure and safe. It's your decision, but I'm telling you that it's probably not good.
Okay.
Yeah, so Instagram now has Reels. So we're seeing a lot more TikTok stuff on Instagram. So if you have a chance, just kind of go on Instagram, see other people's Reels. A lot of them are reposts from TikTok. I know a lot of people, unfortunately, are making a lot of money on there, and their business is on there, and they're running ads. And that's a on TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah, people are earning a lot of money, thousands of dollars a month on TikTok. And I understand that, you have an audience there and it's a very difficult decision, but I would start kind of pulling your audience from TikTok to Facebook to Instagram. And it's also unstable. We're not really sure what's going to go on with it. We're not sure if Microsoft is really buying TikTok. We don't know what's going on. So and this is really important in either way, whether you have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, to pull your audience in, getting their emails, putting them in a group, putting them on Instagram, moving them on different platforms so that if one thing happens, you're able to be on another platform. This is security in general, but business too. So if I'm on Instagram only and someone hacks my Instagram or I'm unable to get to Instagram, I no longer can communicate with my audience. But if I have their phone number, if they gave it to me, if I have their email, if they gave it to me, if they're on Facebook, I can communicate and continue to provide value to my audience. So even as a business, it's a good thing to look at it that way of, okay, how can I move TikTok to Instagram or whatever?
So if you get hacked, right? Do you just the next step is what?
It depends on how you've gotten hacked. So if it's your Instagram or social media account, you can hopefully, if you catch it in time, you can sign in really quickly and change your passwords and enable security. If you're unable to do that, it's kind of completely out of your hands. You don't want to talk to the hacker that stole your account. Don't try to bargain with them. Don't try to negotiate. They'll try to send you most times a message to say you pay X amount of dollars, whether thousands or hundreds of dollars, and I'll give you your account back. Don't do it. It doesn't matter. And what they're really fishing for, especially if you pay for it, that means they're looking at you more because they go, okay, they clearly don't know security. They clearly know not to talk. They clearly don't understand why they shouldn't talk to me. So therefore, I'm going to hack more things so I can get more money. Mm-hmm. So it just kind of continues. It's just like a really domino effect. And this is why I talk about security right now in terms of secure yourself before you have to. What they say, like an ounce of the cure is worth a pound of the prevention. Just do it now because you doing it now, yeah, it's frustrating, yeah, it's annoying. But once you get to someone trying to get into your account, it's no longer frustrating and annoying because now they're messing with your money, they're messing with your clients, your business, and even worse yet, they're messing with your kids. And predators for kids are at an all-time high. It's doubled since the pandemic. And so it's important for you to know as a parent, what technology do I need to have in place in my home? What do I need to do? What conversations do I need to have with my kid in order to make sure they're secure? So there's a lot of things going on that you want to make sure that you have.
Yeah, and I think I saw that you mentioned that in one of your other posts in terms of with the pandemic about how, a lot more, kids are online a lot more now because they don't have as much to do, So yeah, that you mentioned that in terms of having the conversations and I like how what you just said about doing it, up front. You know what I mean? It may seem like, I don't know, like, why am I doing this? Or maybe just extra time, but it's better to do that on the front end versus, being hacked. So, okay. So in terms of for the Instagram account, since I know that someone has hacked me, if I go in and like change my password, and put on the two thingamajig identification, that means that they won't be able to get back into it. Is that how?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Especially unless there's some other way that they've been hacking you. So the hacking worlds and someone hacking into your stuff is very kind of like a doctor's type of diagnosis, right? So when you go to the doctor's office, you're like, I'm sick. They don't go, okay, here's all the medication you can have. You'll solve it. They're usually like, okay, what are the symptoms? What's happening? Where did you go? What did you do? Those type of things. Mm-hmm. Just so they can understand what might you have. They might do blood tests or whatever it is that they might do for you. And the same thing is with security. So if you say I've gotten hacked, I can't just say, okay, unplug your internet. Well, unplugging your internet may be good if your computer has been hacked, so you no longer want someone to have access to your computer because it's no longer on the internet. However, if your Instagram was hacked, then you taking out your, internet is not going to help you at all, period whatsoever. So it really depends on exactly how you've been hacked and, how you move forward with that. I can't remember the original question. I kind of got on a tangent. But was I answering it?
Yes, you did. I remember but I know I don't have another question.
But yeah, there's multiple things that you can do to protect yourself. But yeah.
So, and I hope Omega, I hope we answered everything, because her last question was, should we be leery of TikTok? So hopefully, you know, the answer is yes.
Yes, basically yes.
Okay, so before we move into, well, you know what? Go ahead, go into your topic. Tell us the title of the topic, and go ahead and talk about your topic. And then I have a couple of questions that I'm going to ask that I'll allow you to close with. And then, of course, you can tell everybody where they can find you and things of that nature.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So basically what we're talking about today in general is protecting your kids and yourself online right now during the pandemic. So like I talked about with the kids, the online predators, online crime against kids are doubling in the pandemic. So that's number one. But also you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, the attacks against e-commerce businesses, people who are online, coaches, consultants, those type of things. People are trying to attack your social media, your email accounts, your bank account. And what usually happens is once they get into your social media, they get into your email, they get your bank account. That's a very common kind of trajectory where people think, oh, it's just my social media. It's your social media, now it's your email, now it's your bank account. So now they're messing with real money. So it's no longer about, hey, I'm going to delete a couple hundred of your photos on Instagram. Now it is dealing with your clients, your invoices, and those type of things. So no matter what we're talking about, whether we're talking about your family, your kids, whether they're gaming, virtual learning, educational stuff, YouTube, or you're talking about your business, they come hand in hand. And the reason why I say this is if someone is able to get into your kids' devices based off of a lack of security controls in your kids' device, they can use your kids' device to get into your devices. And that will directly affect your business because now they're able to get into your email account, your CRM, your bank account, those type of things. I have seen coaches who have lost thousands and thousands of dollars from their business because a hacker got into their internet. And not only did they mess with their clients and their business and money, but they started to monitor and try to talk to their kids and, just all those crazy, creepy things with their kids as well. So when you're an entrepreneur, but you're also a parent, you have double things you have to be worried about. And so what I would say is the first thing to work on is your mindset. I know it's crazy because people think, oh, what security, antivirus, firewall, two-factor authentication, blah, blah, blah. I always say start with mindset first. Because if you don't believe that your kids are being targeted, which they are, if you don't believe a predator is going to go after your kid online, which they will, I have had predators go after me in my 10 years of gaming many, many times. So this happens to every single person online, whether you know it or not. So whether they're going after your kids or whether or not they're trying to get into your Instagram, Facebook, email account, it's going to happen. And so a lot of people have this mentality of, oh, it's going to happen to that person over there, this person over there, but it won't happen to me. And that is what hackers bank on, and that's what allows them to make millions and billions of dollars a year. Actually, they make billions of dollars a year in terms of the last stat from the FBI from 2019. And this is only what's been reported, 3.5 billion. So these are real actual numbers, and you want to pay attention to it. So I always start with mindset. The second thing that you want to pay attention to is habits. So what are your habits online? How do you log into a system? How do you log into your computer? Do you update your computer? Do you have an antivirus? Do you update that antivirus? What do your kids do online? What are their habits? What do they use the computer for? How long do they use the computer? Do you have a virtual assistant? How do they log on? So those are the things, those are your habits. What surrounds your day-to-day activities in the online world? Those are what the attackers go for. So over 90% of the hacking attempts are on habits, or on people, on what you do, on your behavior online. 10% is actual technology. So people think, okay, I have an antivirus, I have two-factor authentication, I change my passwords every so often, which that's a myth, but we don't have to go into it exactly right now, but I change my passwords all the time, I'm good to go. But that's not true because 90% of the attacks are coming from your lack of understanding and knowledge about security. So what do I mean by that? Meaning you can have an antivirus in your system, but if someone sends you an email and you don't have a system to scan it, you don't know how to figure out if this is a legitimate email or not, You click the link, it says, oh my gosh, Amazon package is not being delivered. I know you want it delivered. They especially do this during the holiday time. So your last minute Christmas shopping, whatever it is, right? You click on the link, you put in your information, and then now they got your Amazon password and username. That is an example of them taking advantage of your lack of security knowledge and habits. And that is one way that they get in. So no antivirus, no firewall, no two-factor authentication can save you from making that type of mistake. The only thing that can save you from making that type of mistake is your habits and your mindset about security. Because if you're kind of in that world of, okay, the online world is beautiful. That's how I met you. That's how you meet people like me. But at the same time, people make money online in the dark side and the light side. We're on the light side, hopefully, right? Hopefully everyone watching this on the light side. But there is a dark side to the internet, and it's about taking your information, taking your money, those type of things. So I would say focus on those two. And the third thing, finally, is technology, right? This is when you start investing time, money, and energy into your business and into your kids. So this is when you have a consultant or a coach, an antivirus system, a process that you pay for. You pay for information, access, those type of things in order for you to protect your business and your kids. And I'm not just saying this as someone who does security services. You don't have to use me, you don't have to use anybody else, but you have to use somebody. You have to use somebody to protect yourself, because you can't operate in the online world but not invest in your own protection. You know, that's like going and getting a car that has no lock, that has no real key. That's like getting a house and there's no alarm system, there are no locks, there are no doors, there are no cameras, there are no anything. You know, you have a sliding door that just kind of opens and everyone can come in and out of your house. You have no safe, right? So those are the things that you want to look at in the online world. Most people in the online world operate with a house with no doors and no locks and no key. And this is why hackers make a lot of money. And all you have to do is put a door, put a lock, put some cameras, and then pray.
So you know what? So when you work with clients, what do you do? Do people come to you like after they've been hacked, or do people come to you and say, listen, maybe I know I have a friend that got hacked, so I want to sit down with you to kind of see where I'm leaving myself open and how I can be better protected?
They come with both. A lot of people do both. The biggest people who are just like, I want this now, whatever it is, let me know, throw down the investment, let's go, are people who have had a close family friend go through something that's absolutely horrific, and they live their whole life thinking they're fine. And then after witnessing that incident firsthand, whether it was themselves or someone else, they got very, very scared and they did not want that to happen to them. So that's a really common one. Another one is someone who had a close friend that was in security that kept warning them. And then finally they listen and they're just like, I think I like you, let's go. And then the third people are people who have been through something really big. And those are the hardest clients to work with, because I'm working with them actively throughout the moment that they're being hacked. And that is very difficult to get in contact. It's very difficult to, have secure communications. But those type of things happen after, okay, my Facebook account got hacked, or my email, or my computer, or whatever it is. And then I work with them to prevent that. So I'm not someone that comes in to fix what's been hacked. I show you what you can do and then prevent it, next time in the future. So those are the things that I do, and I work with clients. And particularly what I do is I work with people on the mindset and habits and processes. So 3 things: your mindset, your habit, and your processes in your business. And then I give you access to resources. I give you the step-by-step on how to input some of the technology, because technology can be kind of, but I help you through basically what are the steps, what exactly you need, what is BS, what's not, what do you need to download, what you don't need to download, and move forward from there. And basically it's like a, strategist consultant, where I walk you through those steps and I'm there with you every step of the way. Is really a lot of support.
Okay. All right. So I'm hearing, I don't know if I can feedback.
No, can you hear feedback?
I guess it's me. Okay, now it seems better. So it sounds like it's a process. You don't just kind of jump in there, boom, 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 and pop out. It's a process. Okay.
It's ongoing. It's lifelong. I always tell people security is not where, you know how you get the maintenance guy or the internet guy to put in your internet, right? They put in the internet, they put in the TV, and then you never call them again until something stops working. That's not security. You can't do that with your security, because by the time something stops working, you're in deep trouble. That's like only thinking about your health when you get sick, right? Only thinking about your health when you, or not even when you get sick, because people are sick all the time with security and they don't care, right? But really, when you find out a huge diagnosis, a chronic diagnosis, or a disease that really is going to take a long time, that's when people focus on it. It's not that it's too late. It's not too late. It's never too late. But it's going to be so much more difficult for you to heal yourself. Now it's survival mode. Now it's emergency 911 mode, versus you just calmly, easily getting security step by step, slowly building it up and securing yourself. Now you have to have agony, stress, anxiety about something. You don't need that.
Absolutely. You know what? I just realized I didn't share this out like I typically do. I'm gonna do it in a second. I was gonna say this whole discussion has brought a lot of clarity for me. And I'm sure, you ladies, those that are watching this live or those that will catch the replay, I'm pretty sure this turns on a lot of light bulbs for you as well. Is that I kept thinking, like, well, why would somebody want to hack my Instagram account? Like what are they going to get out of that? But like how you just mentioned that, it starts with the social media, then move into your email, and then eventually the long-term goal is to move into your bank account. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it kind of, puts things in perspective for me. So I'm just so glad we're here and we're talking about this. This is
Me
so
too.
awesome. So, okay, I'm going to give you the couple of questions, and then I'm going to go ahead and share it out. I can't believe I forgot to do that. Okay, so I always like to end with, how do you practice good self-care? And what advice would you give to a younger version of yourself?
Very young version.
Okay.
So in terms of self-care, my biggest form of self-care is saying yes to myself every day and no to everything that says no to me, basically. And what I mean by that is taking care of my mental health before everything. And I know, especially as someone who's, I'm a high achiever. I know most people watching this are high achievers, pretty sure. And you kind of go through life where you're just like, okay, I want to meet this goal. I want to take care of this, take care of my family, take care of my parents, grandparents, kids, nephew, whatever it is. There's always someone to take care of something to do. But when I started to focus more internally, focusing on filling my cup so that I can give to others, it was the easiest way to have self-care. So now I do things that make me happy, right? So I dance every day, all the time. I'm always dancing, always having fun, always laughing, making room for myself, and reminding myself that I'm never too busy to take a moment to breathe and let myself be, and not neglecting my own self. So really, self-care sometimes does look like, hey, a spa day or something, but in reality, it's just a continuous mindset of, let me make sure that I'm taken care of first so that I can be that person that can give to other people, because I can't give from a cup that has no water. So in the beginning of the day, I pour water for myself, and that just means spending time alone. That means doing the things I love doing. And one of the things I love doing is gaming. I love gaming with my friends, and it's obviously even bigger now because of pandemic, because you can't really meet everybody. So having a moment of talking to people you love, writing, journaling, dancing, baking something, putting on nice clothes. So even the pandemic, whatever it is, whether you're single, married, whatever it is that you are, having a moment, especially as a woman, where you dress up for yourself and you make yourself look good and you feel good inside, is the best way possible to kind of show that inner beauty and inner confidence within yourself. So those are the things I do, just for self-care. And the younger version of myself, honestly, I would just say keep going. You're doing great. And all of the, nothing is really mistakes in life. It always allows you to get to the next point, allows you to, help other people. And I definitely would say, especially in those moments in Saudi, being like the only, Black American in the school, just kind of reminding myself that this moment is a moment that is going to be absolutely pivotal to your career, to your business, to yourself, in the future, and to not worry about some little petty thing or some not so petty thing going on, and to kind of like take it with grace and ease and not stress myself out about the little things, especially people who are in college, who are very high achieving. I know that I was like that in college. I went all A's, I went A plus, I was in the dean's list, top student, honor society, all of that. But you feel like you have to have everything perfect. So what I would say to my younger self, especially in college, is just the grades don't matter. C's get degrees. Now, if you're watching this and you're a kid and you're in college, don't listen to me. However, however, that doesn't determine your worth. It doesn't determine who you are. That does not determine how much money you're going to make, if you're going to be able to provide for your family. That doesn't say Jack, sugar, and the iced tea, excuse me, for who you are as a person inside. What matters is how do you treat yourself? How do you treat other people outside of you? How are you showing that you care and appreciate other people in your community, within yourself? That is what matters at the end of the day. Your grades, all of that, that's really nice. And sometimes it'll get you into really great places. And I'm really, really sure that me being on all of those things in college really, really did help me get an amazing, beautiful, well-paying, great dream job. However, at the end of the day, what got me there and what kept me there was what was inside. And so I always say just focus inside internally. Don't focus on all the external stuff. I mean, you can, because we like to look nice, but, you know.
Okay. I don't know why the feedback is going in and out on my end, but Nevaeh, are you able to see the comments too?
I can't see it right now. Okay, I see it right now. Yes, Nevaeh. Hey, Nevaeh.
I know I just told her I messed up her name, but I want to acknowledge that she was there, that she joined us.
Thank you for joining.
From the West Coast. Wow.
Oh, nice. That's amazing.
You're East, I'm Midwest, and she's on the West Coast.
See, this is why I love the online worlds. We get to meet other people, and it just to communicate. And that's why I always say with security is that now we can, this is like something I always lead with. I lead with and end with is that while security is scary, and we didn't even go into like the tip of the shaving of the iceberg of security. We went through what you need to know, but we could be talking for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 hours and we'll still not get through all of it. But while the world is absolutely, it's crazy. There are people who make so much money hacking people. It is very, very dark. At the same time, there's so much light and so much beauty in how we can connect. I can't tell you that literally 99.9%, and I'm not even joking. So if we were like to put it on a paper, it most likely would be 99.9% of all of my business opportunities, all of my personal opportunities in the last 2-3 years have all been from people that I met online. My mentors, my coaches, my business, my clients, all of that has come from the online world. So while there are some negative things, there are positive things. And that's why I always say to protect your space. So not only protect your space personally, physically, with family members, friends, business partners, your spouse, kids, you're protecting your space digitally. So this whole, cut off toxic friends thing is not just in person, it's also online. So I always say, think of hackers as toxic friends. Your life is beautiful, your life is abundant, your life it can be great, whatever season you are in. You want to make sure that you're protecting that from, toxicity. So I always say that the online world is absolutely beautiful, and I appreciate you. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name, Nevaeh. I don't know if I did. I hope I didn't. Let me know. But yeah, it's beautiful.
She said great positive words.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was gonna say something else. Just out of curiosity, like when you have a coach, is it like do you have like a regular business coach that helps you with strategy, or is it like do they have like a specialty in your area?
So I have different ones. So I have a business coach. I have like a main business coach that I go to, and then I have people who are like my accountability partners who are also in business doing great things, and we kind of check in with each other. And then I have some mentors and coaches in security as well. So I have people that I go to who I'm clients of to make sure that everything is good in terms of the security aspect. So I really have it in all areas, and just to make sure that I'm growing and becoming the person and the business owner and building the tribe that I want to create, because I'm serious about this. This is like, when I talk about investment, I really mean investment. I'm a big proponent of investment. I don't just say, hey, like, buy my stuff, this is what I do. I really kind of walk what I talk about. And so I'm like, hey, you need a coach for this? Well, I got a coach for that. So that's why I'm like, hey, you need a coach for that. So really investing time, money, and energy into yourself, it's something that I'm a huge advocate for.
Yep, I totally agree. I totally agree. Let's end on this note. Let people know exactly how to find you. And, I believe you do have a Facebook group, so let them know about that. And if you have any particular offers or any webinars or, anything that you have coming up that you want them to be aware of.
Yeah, definitely. So there are 3 things that you can do. You can pick whichever one. You can do all 3 or none. It's your choice. So the first thing is I have a group on Facebook. So if you would like full free access to security tips and advice, you can search Online Security Movement on Facebook. So the Online Security Movement. You go on Facebook, you go into the group, you request to join, answer the questions, whatever you feel comfortable with, and then you can get inside the group. The second thing is I'm on Instagram. So if you have older kids or people are on Instagram that want to follow me, I basically post every single day. And I give something for you to think about, or some tips and tricks. And my Instagram is @cyberfareedah. It's actually on the screen right there. Look at that. So if you search @cyberfareedah on Instagram, you follow me there, you'll get all of that. And I also have a guide for parents. So if you're watching and you're a parent and you would like a guide for your kids, I have something for you as well. And you can just put it down in the comments below if you're allowing them to do that. Then I can send over the guide. But either way, those are the 3 ways that you can reach me.
Okay. Awesome. Well, this has been so informative, and I just really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing all of your knowledge. I mean, this is invaluable, and I've learned a lot, and I know those of you that have watched or will watch have learned a great deal as well. But please share the video out, okay? Tag another coach or a consultant, and I say that because that's my target audience. But whomever, like I said, if you know someone that has a young child and they need some extra protection, or just so, because Fareedah doesn't necessarily just specifically deal with entrepreneurs and business per se, but just online security on a whole, right? Whether you want to protect your business or whether you have a child, that's out there, gaming or whatever they're doing online. And in this day and age, whether they're gaming or not, I mean, kids are online, whether it's YouTube, whether it's TikTok. Like, I know off the top of my head right now, my nieces and nephews are probably on TikTok as we speak, so, you know what I mean? So go ahead and, put something in place. Like you said, change that mindset and be proactive.
Yes.
Be proactive, because, not to sound negative, but it's out there.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the next door neighbor or this person over here. We all can, become a victim. So let's be as proactive as possible. So thank you again so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This is A Queen's Roundtable Show. And I'm getting a call. Normally I don't. A Queen's Roundtable Show, which happens every 2nd and 4th Sunday of the month at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, there is a link included. So go ahead and click that and do your application, and we'll talk soon. And thank you again so much, Miss Fareedah, and everyone have a wonderful rest of your Sunday afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.